Hello.
Hi, darling. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. A bit tired, but I just come back from work, so
I
I'm
see.
knackered. Yeah,
And
but
what do you like doing when you are tired?
basically watching something or tidying my room because
Mm,
during the week it's a mess. So I always play on Spotify, my favorite playlist, and then I tidy up my room. And you
and
can
let me
imagine, yeah, what can be on my list. Guess.
let me guess. I guess some pop music, especially Taylor Swift.
Especially Taylor. Yeah. Lately, I've been listening so much to her music, more than I usually do. I think it's becoming like a bit of a
Habit.
sickness. Yeah, an addiction.
Even worse.
But well, because you have so much music to
Mm,
listen from her that I end up
yeah.
listening only her and not on other artists. So I don't know if the same happens to you or you are a bit more of you have something else to listen to.
I mean, I do like lots of artists, different bands, but I think I tend to listen to her songs almost every day, if not every
Hmm.
day.
Yeah, totally. And for different things, because you've got different songs for different moods, I would
Exactly.
say. Um, Lately, I've been listening a lot to her new album because I want to know all the lyrics and all the
Yeah.
songs. But normally, I will have like a mix of the different
Yeah.
albums.
And the last one, particularly, that one is so long that I think we have a long work to do there because
Yeah.
we are both big fans of Taylor and we really enjoy analyzing her music. And I think it's really deep and rich in terms of vocab. So
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Yeah, I remember one funny thing when she was almost releasing her album, and we were all plotting the different kind of things that it was going to be like, and all
Right.
the different Easter eggs and clues that were out. And she was always doing this peace sign with the two, and we said, okay, number two is going to be a thing. And you found out how long it takes to listen to the complete album,
Right.
including the anthology. How long? Do you remember?
It lasts for 2 hours, 2 minutes.
Exactly. It's insane. I mean, that's something that I find um, distinctive from her, from comparing her
And
to
it
other
has two parts
artists.
also. Sorry.
Yeah, no, imagine. But what I like the most about her is doing these kind of unique things
Yeah.
besides her incredible ability of making her own music, but this capacity of engaging her listeners in the way that they are expecting so much to see
Yeah.
what she's coming up next. Um, that is something great. I would say that something that distinguishes her from others.
It's amazing. It's part of the experience, I would say. And it's a way
Mhm.
of engaging, connecting with her audience. And I'm amazed every time at how many details you can find.
Uh,
And once you start playing that game, you can't stop actually.
and everything, not only her music and the lyrics, but also the performance that she delivers um, in her tour.
Mm,
Um, I don't know, the smallest man who ever lived, when she performs it live, she makes this marching thing, and there are plenty of details
yeah.
that I haven't realized. But when I saw a video of another
Hmm.
Swiftie analyzing the performance, and I was said, "This is insane," um, because it all also makes sense, and it has so many themes and like layers of meanings behind her performance. So I would say no, yeah. She never ceases to amaze me, to be
Yeah.
honest.
And I think we have to take everything with a pinch of salt because we are
Mhm.
so crazy that sometimes I think we may go too far and you never know
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
reality and what's not. But do you have a favorite era?
Ah, that is a very hard
I know.
question to answer. Um, I would make the difference between era and album because I
Mhm.
do have a favorite album, and that does not coincide with my favorite era.
I see.
Um, my favorite era would be Fearless because I would say that it was the one that got me into Taylor Swift,
Yeah.
and it's got many. I feel so many things. It's so emotional for me when I
Mhm.
listen to it. Particularly when we went to her concert and we were
Yeah,
able to see her perform live, and listening to the songs from that era really moved me.
for sure.
So I would say that. Yes. What about you?
Well, I'm sorry for asking you that question because I think I wouldn't be able to answer it either. It's so hard to pick only one because
Yeah.
I love them all for different reasons.
Hmm.
Maybe I would say 1989, but
Oof. Yeah.
because it's very positive and exciting, and
Mm,
every time I listen to it, I'm in a good mood. And it's really catchy
yes.
also. So,
Yeah. It's very pop, into the pop music.
well,
When
exactly.
she was incursionating in that area.
Exactly.
Um,
I think
yeah.
something that I really admire about her is how versatile she is.
Mm,
And I think she really tested the waters when she was starting her career. Um, but I do think 1989 can be a significant point in her career because it helped
yeah.
her solidify her status as a global pop artist. Um, she had other songs anyway, other pop songs before, but
Hmm.
I do think this was an important point in her life.
Totally. It was her 20s, her early 20s. So
Yeah.
I think that she was discovering herself and discovering her own style
Hmm.
and playing with the different types of music.
Exactly.
Um, and I think that is a very important thing about her, as
Hmm.
you said, how versatile she is. And I think from 1999 onwards, she has she recognizes the power that she has and the knowledge. Um, and I don't know how I could put it into words. She would definitely be able to do so because she's so magical
Yeah.
with words. And the way that she writes her songs makes you feel as if you know her, and all that she's going through.
Yeah.
That's She's a writer.
Yeah.
Besides
Yeah.
being an artist, she's able to put those feelings into words in a magical way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I see your point.
and as
I think she's
regards,
quite complete as an
yeah,
artist, and she
yes.
is definitely a big storyteller.
Hmm. Well, that leads us to your favorite song. I mean, I thought about that question because
Yeah.
the top on my list
Hmm.
is one song in which she actually tells a story, and she has made that song into a short film
And did
video.
she extend that into a 10-minute version?
Yeah, she did.
That's
And
my
I would say
favorite
that,
also.
ah, twins. But yeah, um, I would say that it's the best one she has
Yeah.
ever made. Not because it's one of the most sentimental, heartbreaking,
Mm.
really, and moving songs, but
Mm.
everything, the melody, the lyrics, and the story
Right.
is incredible. And okay, and also the melody is super catchy as well. So literally after she has released her 10-minute version, I couldn't stop playing it,
Yeah, yeah.
and I couldn't really listen to the short version anymore, to
Me
be
neither,
honest.
you know? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. And I'm really grateful for this extended version, actually.
Have you watched her interview where she actually says that when her fans
Yeah,
realized that there was actually a 10-minute version one,
yeah.
they asked for it a lot, and that's why she ended up releasing it
She
in the
couldn't
in
say
her
no.
Taylor version red.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and we're thankful for that,
Hmm.
really. And getting a video also was
Absolutely.
a plus. Yeah.
It's really emotional, also, that song. And
Hmm.
another one that I absolutely adore
Which
is
one?
Long Live.
I it makes me feel so nostalgic,
Yeah.
uh, and that's why it's very emotional for us as well.
I love
Yeah.
all the fairy references and I love the message of it because in that
Hmm.
one she sings directly to the audience and there's this sense of being a community and I really like that.
Yeah. And from the last album, which one would you say that is the one that you've been listening to the most?
Oh, I would say that I can do it with a broken heart, but that's because of
Nice,
the
nice
melody
choice.
of it. You can't stop singing it and I wouldn't say the lyrics are happy because they are not. The ending is really shocking. Um, but I think it's a powerful song
Hmm.
and I don't know, it puts me in a good mood. And I think the album in general is so nostalgic and emotional, raw that I have to control myself because, you know, sometimes you need to listen to happy songs also.
Yeah, I remember when the album was out and we were listening to it on the loop just because we wanted to actually get to know all the songs from one day to the next.
Right.
Through my playlist popped up Cruel Summer, and it was
Mhm.
like a shocking thing because you were super happy from one moment to the next, and um yeah, I think that the vibes of the last album are this indie folk, but a still certain pop, and I don't know, I don't know how can I describe the complete style of the album, but it tends to be, no, I don't want to say depressing, but this idea of being more introspective
Yeah,
and,
that's the word I would say.
yeah, more reflective about the different things that she has been through. So that's, and she wants to tell us about those
Mhm.
things. So that's why I think that it's difficult to cope with the whole album if you
Yeah.
are not in the
Mm.
mood of listening to it.
Yeah.
Um,
It highlights her vulnerabilities, I would say.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, that's why sometimes it's good to stop for a bit and go to a happier era. And Lover in that sense
Oh
is,
my,
it's so nice. It's
so
so happy.
romantic.
Everything. Yeah. Listening to Lover is like the song.
Yeah.
I don't know. It makes you feel like, oh,
But luckily, we
um,
have different options, I would say.
yeah.
And that's something that happens to me also. Like, it really
Hmm.
depends on what I'm doing. I know that I have a song for each scenario, you know?
Yeah.
And my favorite songs change frequently, actually,
Yeah.
and I tend to become obsessed with a particular song and I need to listen to it on
Hmm.
repeat. So I try to limit myself because I don't
Hmm.
want to get tired of it. You know what I mean?
But I think that with Taylor, if you like her music, you never get tired of her
No,
songs.
never, never, I know, but just in
Again,
case.
I remember when I still do it though, but when I don't usually use a timer, I use the 10-minute version of All Too Well.
Right.
Like I play it and I know I've got 10 minutes there. So it's a good thing. I get ready while listening to music, and I know exactly, like, I know in which part more or less I need to be ready. Um,
Absolutely. It
I know it's
helps you
crazy,
be
but
organized.
definitely. And if you have to choose,
Hmm.
I'm going to make it super difficult for
Surprise
you.
me.
Uh, which is your least favorite song?
That's a tough
Yeah,
one. I have no
yes.
idea, honestly.
Or maybe the least favorite album. I know it's hard. I've got
No,
an answer for that though.
I don't think I have one. Like, honestly, I'm trying to give you a more interesting answer, but I don't know. I don't know what to say. Which one
Um,
is yours?
for me, it would be Debut, but because I'm not that into country music,
Mm,
and there's also some reasons connected to the way it's recorded.
yeah,
Uh, for me, it's got her voice is not listened well. Maybe we're
I
waiting for
see.
Taylor's version, and
Yeah,
maybe that's my answer would be different. But at the moment, um, I'm struggling with trying to listen to it a lot,
yeah,
so I never connected to it.
mm,
Maybe one or two songs, of course, the most famous ones, but not the complete album.
yeah,
So I would say that,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I see your point, and maybe, yeah, maybe I don't listen to all those songs all the
Mm,
time as much as I do with other albums. But for me, it's also special that one because it reminds me of my childhood or my teenage years. Because when I discovered her, she was a country singer actually. And for
yeah.
me, that was really special. I was really interested in her music because I thought she was so different from the rest.
Mhm. Um, but that's what I remember watching because Spotify was not an option back then. And I used to watch a lot the videos that were available on YouTube.
Yeah,
And I used to watch our song, You Belong With Me, and Love Story,
on
on and
repeat.
on, and
Yeah,
Picture
yeah.
to Burn as well. Um, it was the one like was on the list. It was crazy. Like it brings me back so many memories.
Yeah.
Um, and the other day, when I got to know that she performed Crazier
Ah,
live for the first time, that was shocking in a good way. And it almost made me cry because
yeah,
I remember it was the first song I really recognized as hers. And the one that made me look her up because she
right.
appeared in Hannah Montana's movie
Yes.
on 2009. The other day I looked it up because I didn't remember which year it was, and I really like her. I used to like Miley a lot, and she was different, as you
Yeah,
say. So in a way, it was okay. I like her. Let's listen to some more of her songs, and these videos on YouTube appear.
yeah,
So she's really a good discovery to make.
of course. Yeah, and you see her growing up and her music changing, evolving, and that's
Mhm.
really special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you have any any favorite quotes from her? Not the songs, but anything that she has said that really
Hmm.
stayed in your mind?
Okay, that's a good question also. Yes, I do. I mean, from her songs, I have many. I can
Yeah,
expand on that later on.
please.
But there's one quote, I don't remember
Mhm.
her exact words, but in an interview, she said something about not judging or criticizing people when they are talking about the things they love.
I
Can you
was
recall
going to
that
tell you
one?
the same. I
All
was
right,
going
maybe
to
you
tell
can
you the
help me
same
then.
thing. That I remember that she says something like that the worst thing
Yeah,
a person can do
that one,
is
yes.
to criticize someone because they are feeling excited about something.
Hmm.
And even though if it's cliche or something like that, it doesn't matter. If it's important to you,
Yeah,
you should be able to express it.
yeah,
Um, yes, for me, it's the same quotes.
I love the way
The
in
one,
which you put that, and I feel really
yeah,
identified with it because whenever I'm talking with a friend or a relative, I
mhm,
find it fascinating to see them talking about something they are passionate about. You
yeah,
know, like you can see the way in which they smile and their eyes shine. It's so nice.
yes, yeah, and basically, it's what shows that y- you want to hear what the other person
Yeah.
is going through, and if it doesn't matter, you don't have to like the same things,
Mm.
but you need to also have the respect and to be happy for that person. So,
And it sounds
um,
repetitive, like a cliche, but that's what makes life interesting after all, to be
yeah,
different and to have different interests in life.
yeah,
But something that
totally.
I love about her is that because she loves language so much, as you said, she uses plenty of metaphors in her songs.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great resource for language learners because you
Hmm.
can try to understand how figurative language works in English.
Totally.
The way in which she expresses her ideas many times is not really transparent. So you need
Hmm.
to figure it out. You need to truly analyze her songs to get the point.
Hmm. And also the way that she uses idioms for me is great.
Yeah,
And she also plays with language. She has this ability and this knowledge of
true.
language that allows her to make certain changes in order
Yeah,
to reinforce what she wants to say in her lyrics. So it's something that makes her as she is
yeah,
at the
yeah,
moment,
for
like
sure.
one
I
of the
always
best
say,
artists. Yeah,
and if
tell
you
me.
know the rules, you can break them, and that
Yeah.
shows, yeah, that she's really good at that.
Hmm.
For example, Red. It's a song that has a lot of metaphors, especially in relation to colors. She mentions or she describes the different stages of our relationship, a broken one, and she compares that with colors. Actually, we
Yeah,
wrote an article that's on our
we
blog.
did. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's fascinating, because you discover that you can express things in a more interesting way.
exactly. And it's used on a daily basis to say, oh,
Exactly.
I feel so blue today, in the sense that you feel
You're
sad.
right. Hmm.
So that is a good way to give it a twist and to improve language and to sound more natural in English.
Absolutely.
So that's
Yeah,
great.
to add
And
some variation.
coming back to your favorite quote from her lyrics, I want to know which one is the one that stays with you the most. There must be many, but is there
Yes.
one that you find right now?
Let me think. Like off the top of my head, suddenly, I can't come up with any. Um, but there are plenty. I I think folklore, for example, is really
Mhm.
special in that sense. Like I really like the way in which she uses language in that album. Do you have
Yeah,
any?
from folklore. Uh,
Or in
I
general?
in general, I was thinking about another one. That's why I had to go back to folklore. But from the lakes, the song "The Lakes" for me is
Yeah.
very um, full of poetry devices,
Yes.
let's say,
Yes,
and all
that's
the
right.
style is like that. Um,
And she
but
mentions
in
many
terms,
historical details in that one
yeah,
also.
and we work with different authors, so with different poets, so
Yeah,
we knew the references. That was great to know the background of
true.
everything that is mentioned. Um, but I was thinking about reputation, nothing connected to that, because I think that I wasn't that into reputation really when it was out. Uh, but then I started to appreciate it more because I could see that it wasn't just R&B style. There were
Yeah.
also other songs. Um, and I love in the song dress, that she says that even in my worst time, you saw the best in me. I
Oh,
think that
true.
that is that knowing everything that she has been through, knowing that is such a clear
Yeah.
message, and it shows how she felt with her loved one back
Mm.
then. Um,
And I
and it
think it
surprised me that it
she
was from Reputation, from my perspective before actually listening to the whole album. I had this,
right.
um, yes,
Yeah, it's different from the rest. So I understand how shocking it can be at first or how
uh-huh,
hard it is to connect with it. But I think it's amazing how she gave it a twist to this snake stereotype, and it,
hmm,
it actually ended up being something really powerful.
yeah, definitely,
But in connection to folklore, because I already mentioned that one, so I feel like we need to analyze it because that one is
yeah.
so unique. What I like about folklore is
Tell me,
that I think there she lets the world know that her music can stand or can speak for
yeah,
itself. I don't know
yeah,
if my point is clear, but what I mean is that she steps away from the spotlight to allow her music to be the main character
hmm,
because she's not only writing about herself, but she allows herself to invent new characters.
yeah,
And the way in which she portrays these characters is amazing.
yeah. And she's able to tell the characters' points of view in different
Exactly.
songs, so we get to know all the perspectives around the same story.
Yeah.
Um, and as she said, when she, I don't know if you've watched the documentary on Disney, about recording this album,
Yeah.
that she wrote it when it
Mm,
was the pandemic, during the pandemic, so it was very cathartic, and I think that that really allowed her to say, okay, everything that
let's
I
see.
know, I'm going to write about it. She wasn't thinking about releasing
Yeah.
the album, she just wrote songs, and I think that that was a different thing
Hmm.
that is shown in the
Yeah.
songs.
Yeah, exactly. And again, I think we really admire the fact that she can present different points of view.
Yeah. So
For
that, and
example,
did you know?
Bete,
Sorry, yeah,
tell
I'm
me,
moving from one thing to another. Did you know that the different names that are mentioned um are the names
the
of
children.
Blake Lively's?
Yes, I read that
Uh,
recently.
that is crazy. I love her. I love how she includes all her loved ones in
Yeah.
her songs. I'm sorry, coming back to you. Sorry for interrupting.
No, but actually, it's quite related to that because I was thinking about the song Bete,
Uh-huh.
and I think there, because she represents, this impulsive teenager trying to save a rocky
Hmm.
relationship, she does that in such a detailed way. I love the
Yeah.
way in which she gives different voices to different characters, and somehow I think I also like Betty because it reminds me of her country roots,
Yes,
because of
definitely.
the rhythm
Yeah.
of it. And it reminds me, I take it like it's just a girl reciting the notes from her notebook. That's it.
Yeah.
She detaches from the song in a way.
Hmm. And it's actually the writer of a story.
Yeah.
So that's great. From also this love triangle portrayed in the album, August is one of my favorite songs in the album,
Yes.
really.
Same.
Um, it's so melodic. You imagine yourself literally on the beach,
Yeah.
listening to the waves with the winds, with this, they all like you get to, she allows you to immerse in the
Exactly.
story.
Yeah.
Um,
And in a way,
that's,
it's like reading a story.
yeah,
And if you pay close attention to the way in which she uses different adjectives to describe people, like in
yeah.
Betty, or places like August, you can actually learn a lot of descriptive language that
Hmm.
makes your your own expressions more interesting and richer.
Mhm. And whatever you would like to describe or to say, it allows you to be more to give more details
Yeah,
about it. So that's great. That's the thing with adjectives, really.
exactly.
Knowing which one to choose in order to get the
Yeah,
meaning to the other person of what you are thinking about.
yeah,
um, and also not only inventing stories, but taking real people and giving that a twist. I think that you know which song I'm going to talk about now. But The Last Great American Dynasty.
mhm.
Uh, so in this song, was Rebecca? No, Rebecca not the name.
So many
Well,
characters. It's easy to get
yes,
lost.
yeah, all right. But well, she was the former owner of the house that she has
Ah, yeah,
purchased. So she based that story, that song, on her life,
right.
and she give this twist by the ending and saying, um, "We don't know what could have been if
Yeah,
the house wasn't bought by me," basically.
yeah,
So it's crazy how she closes all these stories and tries to bring them back to life.
that's
Um,
right.
yeah, I really like that song as well. It
Yeah,
has a different rhythm, a melody,
so
and it's great.
nice.
Yeah.
That's true.
Um, so Folklore has so many things to mention and to analyze. It's one of the most poetic albums. But then came
Absolutely.
her uh, sister. Then came Evermore,
True.
which has the same vibe,
Yeah.
but in a way. Um, I don't know. It's more deep, and I absolutely adore Willow. I say that
They
it's
go,
one of the best
I
on that
love that
album.
one. Yes.
Yeah,
And they go together in a way.
and it's more magical.
Yeah.
Um, I say it more as the fairy side, and of
Yes.
course, I listened to Willow, and that was her intention, though, to make this mythical thing. Um, Not witches, but these druids connected to Celts, and it sounds like a chant. Um, and I think she depicted it amazingly.
Yeah.
Um, it
Yeah,
was
it's a really
crazy.
good representation and it's really
Yeah.
magical. That's true.
And
Yeah.
it's now that we talk about her songs and her music in general, besides the language, besides how much we enjoy listening to it, it's incredible how it brings people closer.
Mm,
Um, like I remember showing Taylor songs to the people around me, and they end up liking her music because they can see what I'm trying to show them. It's not just okay, yeah, listen to this song and that's it. No, it has so many layers behind.
yeah.
That and it's great to find someone to share that with. I love sharing my thoughts with you because we can have uh, this space to actually share our thoughts.
Exactly.
That's
And
great.
again, because they are so deep and full
Mhm.
of details, it's good to have a peer to get together and actually analyze or discuss this because otherwise it's too much information. You need someone to share that
Yeah.
with.
Exactly. Yeah.
And actually, something that I love um, about the tour is that there's a point in which she says, um, "There's after the concert, when you listen to these songs again, I want
Mm.
you to think about the memories we built together here this night."
Mm.
And you know, it's so true because
Yeah.
it sounds like a cliche, but it's sharing what makes it more special.
And to finish with this, because we can talk about Taylor like all night long. Um, I recently saw a video. I think I sent it to you. but I don't remember. Um, in which she talks, and she's super young. She's 19 or something like that. And she actually says that she would never bother stopping when she's walking down the street to take a picture or to talk to someone
Mm.
or to make her fans feel welcome and nice and to protect them and to, if they want something, like the ability to be there,
Yeah,
because in a way it's what she's asking for. Like, she wants to be famous, she wants to be
yeah,
known, she wants to share her music. And now that she has that, because she's one of the on the top list of artists nowadays, she actually still do that.
right.
So I think that that's something really nice
Yeah,
from her, being this famous.
yeah.
Um, and we say, okay, we chose the famous one well, a good icon. Yeah.
Yeah, and the girl who used to dream about living in a big old city actually made that dream come true, right?
Hmm.
It's really
Perfect.
moving to see that. Yeah. So it would be great actually if
Yes.
we get some recommendations of other artists or even writers so we can analyze that in
Hmm.
the future.
Exactly. Yeah. There are so many.
Yeah.
Ed Sheeran could be a possibility as well.
Ah, why not? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Well,
Marty.
so I
So
talk to you
see each other
soon.
soon. Bye bye.
Bye.